I thought it would be a good time to visit some ancient wisdom moral codes. Seems like the world could use it. And what I love is it's not based on religion. This is from the yogic philosophy, which is the sister science to Ayurveda. And some of you may have heard of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. And so I thought each day I would just share with you and see where it sits, because they're very universal guides to not only help us cultivate peace within ourselves, but also in our outer world. And there's just so much disharmony out there right now. So let's just start. So the first is the yamas. So there's yamas, which are more like personal codes of behavior, and the niyamas are, it's all very personal. It's different, like more a spiritual ways to incorporate your life. But let's just start today with the yamas. So these are just things. There's not like a script of exactly how you do it. It's really more to, if you can immerse yourself with these ideas, then you can cultivate something much more profound within yourself. And when you do that, it's going to ripple out to the world. So there are 5 yamas that we'll start with, and the first, and this is going to be very brief because you can go look it up, so I don't want to make a super long video, but the first one is, the word is ahimsa, and it translates to nonviolence or non-harming. And what you always want to look at with these teachings is there's the real obvious, like, yes, like non-harming. You don't want to go and harm someone and really take their sovereignty, their life. I think there's always exceptions. If someone's trying to kill you, then then look at the Bhagavad Gita for that. But anyway, let's get back to nonviolence. So you want to start on the subtle, sort of in the subtle realm, which is your mind. And when you are looking at how do I start cultivating ahimsa or nonviolence within myself, it's really just noticing your thoughts. And if your thoughts are like very irritable or angry, or you can feel an edge, and even on the flip side, if they're very heavy and dark, that is, your thoughts are within you. So that's a way to start bringing this awareness into yourself. Am I being harmful to myself? And so when you can really start cultivating more of a peaceful existence within yourself, which might mean taking a break or just actually spending time being introspective or just being in nature, then you can start shifting the experience in your own mind. And then, of course, this can ripple out to the world. So there's a lot of violence right now, and I really do see the wisdom in these teachings that people don't even know who they are, and they're so cloaked with just narratives in their mind that we'll get to. There's another one in here that will kind of address that, but that creates just a feeling of violence that or whoever is in that state is living in. So you really want to pay attention to that. And so there's a lot of practices. There's all different kinds of meditations, but anything that you can really do to cultivate peace that's not harming anyone else, and to really honor your own worthiness of feeling good, of feeling peaceful in your own self, your own mind. So that is the first one. And then The next one is satya, which is truthfulness. And so, again, it's good to tell the truth, but what these yogic practices ask us is to really start discerning, is this more of a universal truth, or is this my opinion right now? And this often makes me think of the way that I see science being practiced in the moment. And you know things change, things can change. I do believe, and this is just what really resonates with me, that there are universal truths. And we're on an evolutionary process, and so maybe something that I believed was true 10 years ago doesn't seem true now. So we want to be gentle with ourselves, but when you have an orientation of being truthful to yourself, being truthful with others, and that to me shows up when you can learn how to feel in your body. And so it might be very slight, but you can feel not only when your energy is not being in integrity, but when someone else's energy coming at you doesn't feel truthful. Pay attention to that, and really just keep the the bigger picture of just checking in with yourself. Like, is this a truth that I am manipulating so that I can be right? Or is this a truth that I just feel like an expansion? Like I look at this, I digress a little bit. There's there's a truth when your heart and your third eye, which is your intuitive body, are connected, and you can feel that. So I would just pay attention to that. And lies often feel very constricting, or if someone's lying to you, but they are swearing to you that they're telling the truth, trust your feeling, above all, and just sit with it and see where it goes. So that is satya, truthfulness. And then asteya is non-stealing. So again, the obvious is, you don't want to like walk into a store and take something without paying for it, but non-stealing on this subtle level can be, are you stealing someone else's time by not, by being super late? Shit happens, but so that's not a judgment, but like if you just kind of don't care, that to me would be more of the stealing. The non-stealing could also apply to some energy. This is a big one. We are energy, and people can really affect our energy, and it's really important to be aware of your own energy field, and to be aware when you feel like someone is draining your energy. Way have I experienced that, because you can just fall apart physically when you allow yourself to be drained. So be aware of not letting your energy be stolen, and be aware too of other people's energy. So so that would be the asteya, the non-stealing. And then brahmacharya, which is often sort of the immediate translation is celibacy, but the good news is that's only for monks. So it's not telling everybody to be celibate at all, but it is telling it. So when you look at it in the broader meaning, it is about definitely I've heard it described as governing your senses. So we experience the world through our senses, which is sight, sound, smell, taste, and feel. And so that can translate to really everything. So I'd say what's up right now that we're seeing a lot of in social media, it can totally translate to one's sexual behavior towards another. So, and that can, none of these are exclusive. So, rape would be a violation of this yama, of this moral code, obviously, but that is not, that is taking the I guess the sense and the belief of another violently towards another. And so that is not a moral governing of one's senses. And it can even be super subtle. So it can be in a completely consensual relationship. But this is where, and I won't go into this, but it's interesting to me, the Tantra traditions in teaching actually men and women how to really be aware of of the whole process of sex, the whole experience, which should be enjoyable for everyone. So if it's not, then that could be violating this brahmacharya. Maybe there's an entitlement, maybe there's an ignorance. So brahmacharya is asking us to become very mindful of our senses and in relation to others. So it's always in relation to ourselves and extending into relationship of others. And so the last one is aparigraha, which is translated as non-grasping or clinging. And so this can apply to so very much how, consumerism and we really can't judge someone else's choice of what they're consuming, because as we grow we change. And you might have someone who is totally off the grid and living in the woods by themselves. That's a choice. And yeah, that's probably a big example of non-clinging. But what you can do, just as what we call in the Ayurvedic and yoga philosophies, as we're householders, we are maintaining a house, we have bills to pay, then you would look at it more as just fine-tuning, refining your consumerism. And it's not to say that it's wrong, but if you bring something in, am I bringing this in because it's really serving me? And then it can even be a practice as if you bring something new in, what can you take out? What can you give away or even sell? But it's basically also non-hoarding. So if you find yourself unable to let go. So on the subtle field, let's go into that, since we're doing this on both levels. What beliefs are you clinging to? What are you unwilling to let go of that's really not serving you? And that can apply today too, with all of the social media stuff going on, where there's such a clinging to maybe something that is keeping a tension and a struggle. And so non-clinging is to be able to actually, I look at it this way, you can have your opinion, but do you need to try to go hit someone over the head and make them agree with you? So always take these practices within first, and then see how you can apply them outwardly. And this is just an introduction, so it's not to say if you really get into the teachings, and if you really get into the deities that are exemplifying different archetypes that we all have, there's a time to be fierce. There's a time to I'm not for war at all. I would totally dig if we could just be peaceful. But if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, and just, there is a war if truth is being, if real, the deep truth, and if all of these things are being violated, then you're fighting for truth. You're fighting for good. And I think, not that I know a lot about war, but I think it's important that it be contained. You know, like, I don't agree with the fact that if there's war that you just like bomb out a whole civilization, because most of those people are not in alignment with what was causing the war in the first place. So anyway, we will talk about the niyamas tomorrow. So hope you enjoyed this and hope it's meaningful to you.